My name is John Musayo Timdola, and welcome back to my channel. Today we'll be taking on if statements. What is if statement? If statement in Python is whenever you want to render a conditional statement. That is an action that actually contains or entails condition. For example, you want to go for an event and you actually want to choose the type of dress you want to wear, either red or green. Yeah, if statement have to play the role. That is, you either choose either from the color that is red or green. So here the condition is very, very important and vital. That's why we have to actually look at into the conditional statements in what in Python. Here we have um whenever we want to compare two items. For example, if I have A equal to 2034 and I have B equal to 67. Yeah, I can actually compare either A or B. I can just say dress one, dress one to be equal to red, and dress two. The second dress to be dress two to be equals to green, Yeah, so you have two type of colors. I mean, of dress you can actually wear to your event. Now, if you actually want to compare both of them, so I can just say dress one is equal to dress two, is equal to dress two. Now here I'm actually comparing between dress one and dress two. That is, here I'm directly comparing dress one, giving dress one to be what, to comparing dress one to dress two. I can actually have another thing. Maybe for example, here, if I actually run this line of code, it's going to tell me no. Why? Because dress one is red, while dress two is green. So this will actually return a false. Now, what about if I actually say something like this as dress one not equal to. So this is how we write not equal to in Python. Not equal to dress two. So here I'm going to get a true. Here I'm going to get true. I'm going to get true. By here, true. I'm going to get true here. Sorry. Let me just put this. I'm coming out. Sorry. So I'm going to have a true. Yeah. So here I'm going to have a false. I'm going to have a false. Why? Because dress one is not actually equal to dress two. Or here dress one is not what is not equal to dress two in here in this line of code, which we give me in this condition, which you actually give me true. But now what about if I want to compare two numbers together? For example, if I want to say something like A is is it less than B, less than B. Here, I'm actually comparing A and B in such a way that here we have that A to be 34, while B to be 67. Now, here I'm actually the condition says A is less than B. Is that right? Now, A is 34. Is 34 less than A? It's just same thing as writing this. That's 34 less than what? That's 67, which is what? Which is right. Which is right. Yeah, that is 34 is actually less than what? Less than 37. Now, what about writing a condition in such a way that will be 64? Let me write it there. That will be 64, 67 is less than or equal to less than or equal to 68. Now this condition still is valid. This condition is valid. That is, now if I actually write something here, this condition is valid. But if I write something, if I actually add a equal to sign here, I'm going to this condition is still valid. We actually return a true for me. That is 34 is less than or equal to 67. Yeah, we have to condition. It's either it's less than or it's equal to 67. So if I have something like 42, 42, yeah, the condition still holds. That is, the condition still return a true for me. What about if I have 67 here? Yeah, I still have the conditions being true for me. But now immediately I have 68, the condition returned a true for me. Why? Return a false. Why? Because 68 is actually greater than, not less than 67. And here we have 68 not equal to what? Not equal to 67. So here the condition actually breaks, in which we actually return something what false for me. Now I have another one which is greater than, another sign which is greater than. So here in this, from this variable, I mean, from these variables, I can have something like 67. That would be B. B is greater than A. B is greater than A. Why is B greater than A? B is greater than A because B is 67, while A is 34. Do you get it? Now, here, this condition actually holds and it will actually return a true for me. It will actually return a true because B is actually greater than what? It's actually greater than A. So that's a condition. Now, what about if I write something like this? So I have an equal sign. If I actually had an equal sign, is B greater than or equal to A? Yes, the condition still return a true for me because why? This greater than actually still hold the condition to be true, though the equal to is actually not right at this time, but this greater than still makes the condition still what, to return a true. What about if I actually come here and write B or something like 56? Sorry, if I have 56 is greater than or equal to 76, 67. Sorry, here I'm going to have a false. Why? because because 60 56 is less than, not greater than 67, and 56 is not actually what, it's not actually equal to, not equal to 67. But what about if I actually have it as this, as 56 greater than, greater than equal to, or equal to what, 56? Yeah, it actually returns a true for me. Why? Because 56 is equal to 56. Though 56 is not greater than 56, that's right, we know that. But 56 is what, is equal to what, is equal to 56. Do you get it? Now that makes this equation, this condition to be what? To be true. Don't forget, a condition can either be true or false. That's this Boolean data type. You get it? So that's a condition with what? With either true or what? With either true or false. Now in Python, now let's go down to if statement. Now we've actually successfully looked at different conditions we can have in what, in Python. I mean, the different relational ways we can actually hold a condition in Python. We now let's look at the if statement. How to actually write if statement. For example, if I want to write an if statement, I have to start with the if keyword in Python. The if keyword, please don't forget that it's a small letter E, I, then F. You can see it actually bring it there. That's small letter I and F. So I have what? I have I and F in my words as the keyword for what? For initiating my word. This if statement. So let's continue. So we have the if, then followed by the condition. Please don't forget that. Followed by what? Followed by the condition. For example, here, if I have B, if I have B is greater than, B is greater than A. is B greater than A? So let's find out with a conditional statement. So I have if B is greater than A. Follow now. I have the if statement followed by the condition. Do you get it? Now I have the if statement followed by the condition. Now condition here is B greater than A. Now after the condition, I have this column. Are you getting it? This dot dot, that's the column. Now, immediately after the condition, please, you can see my cursor is actually blinking at that end. Now, I have to enter, I have to press enter. Now, the cursor actually move to the next line with indentation. Please, do not, please, I'm repeating it again, do not start from a new line because indentation is very, very important in Python. Do not start from new line. Here, I'm going to give it a tab, which should actually start from where I should actually write whatever I want to execute in my if statement. Here, I'll write what to actually execute in my if statement. So here I'll write a simple word, simple text. I will just write print print what if, don't forget the condition. So now if B is actually greater than A, so I can just say B is greater than what? Than A. So if we run this, if we run our code, let's run our code and let's see what it will actually give us. So let's run it. Now, B is actually greater than A. You can see in our what? In our console. That is, it actually gives us what? It executes this line of code for us. Now, why does this line of code get executed? Why? Because this condition is what is true. Now, what about if I actually change this sign? Let me change this sign to what? To something less than A. Now, if I change this sign, now let's run the code again. No, I don't have anything. Look at this place. I don't have anything what's being executed. That is, this condition actually what get to what run to false. Immediately what I change the sign, which is what? Which is B less than what? B less than A. And we can also say that B is not less than A. B is actually what? Is actually greater than what? Greater than A. So that's how we actually deal with if statement in Python. If statement is very, very simple. Don't be confused with any other things. So if statements, the first thing you need to know, you need to write when you are dealing with if statement is the if keyword followed by the condition you actually want to run your what you want to use to run your code, followed by the column. Now, immediately after the colon, just press enter. It will take you to the appropriate line in which we contains the indentation. So that line from that in the indented point, that's where you are going to write your what your the line of code you actually want to execute. Here I'm actually executing what I want it to print. B is what greater than what? B is greater than A. Are you getting it? So B is greater than A. Now, what about if I have two or more conditions? Don't forget, let's use this. Let's take this scenario of me having red dress, green dress, and other type of dress. So if I have something like dress three, dress three, I have dress three here, and my dress three is actually something like blue. It's actually like blue. So here I can actually have something like, let me take this off so that you can actually see what I'm doing. So if I have dress one, dress two, dress three, so I can actually come here and write something like if what, maybe the condition can be something like, okay, if dress, if dress, if dress, okay, if dress is equal to dress one, dress one, dress one. If dress is equal to dress one. But from before that, I will actually maybe for example, let me take it like this. If eventually I want the user to impute a dress of their in my code, then I actually want to now maybe compare the type of dress. Uh, compare, is it compare now? Compare the dress the user entered into my program, then compare with the type of dress I have. Yeah, with the type of the color of dress I have. So if all I need to do is just let me write dress. Let me initiate the dress here. The dress variable. I can just say dress equal to, say, impute, so that the user will impute a value for me. So impute, say here will be enter. Sorry for that. Enter enter the dress color. A dress color. Is that, does that make sense? Let's continue. So here I have enter a dress color. Thank you. Now you can see that the error here has been what has been dismissed. Why? Because I've actually initiate a variable called what dress. Thank you. So now I actually want to compare the dress color now. So if I say if dress equal, now you can see where I'm actually using the double equal to. Now, the double equal to is used for comparison. Why once is just once, that means single equal to is used for assignment. Double single equal to is used for assignment. Here, you can see that I'm actually assigning 34 to this variable of a. So I'm assigning this side to this side. So we actually use what? We use a single equal to do that. Now let's move on. So we have if dress equals to dress one, print you should wear a red dress. Let's take it like that. You should you should wear, or let's say you choose a red, write that with capital, red dress, right? Thank you. Now, okay. Now the next condition, we are going to use an Elif. That is, else if the user enter a dress, I mean a color that is actually different from the user the already stated color. Are you getting me? So we want something, a line of code to what to be executed. That is, yeah, that is, if I L if means if the first one is actually false, if the first condition actually return a false, else run this code. So here I'm going to use L if. We have what? L if, that is else if, are you getting it? Else if this condition is true, then run this code. Are you getting it? So it's just like a continuation of what, of the if statement. So here you can just say L if dress is equals to what? Let me say dress two. Now run this code for me. Now let's just copy this. Just copy this and what, and insert it in this place. Thank you. So this instead of red, this one will be what? Green. 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 So we have another condition too. So instead of using else if again, I can just say else. That is else. Now print, give me this line of code. That is else. Just say red. Now you can see here, here, okay, let me say blue. You can see here I'm not actually running the third condition like the way I run the second condition. That is, now it's either I have three conditions here. I have three colors here. It's either I have red color or green color or blue color. So in as much I've write a condition for what, for red and for green, I don't actually need to write a condition for blue, because in as much we have false for red and we have false for green, preferentially, automatically, we are going to have what? A true for what? For blue. So let's run this. Thank you. So if you run this, I love to put this in my code. So if I run, let me run it again. So if I run this, it's going to tell me come enter a dress. So if I enter something like red, let me take red. And you can see it said you choose a red dress. Are you getting it? Now that's the condition. Now let me do it in such a way that I'm not going to choose a red. Let me go for something like green. So let me run the condition again. So let me write something like green, then enter. And you can see it said you choose a green dress. You choose a green dress. Now here, the first one is false, which is what? If you look at the first condition, which is which is for red, right? Now, what the user actually enter, what the user actually enter is green, which makes what? Which makes this one the first condition to be what? To be false. Now it's moved to the second condition, which is what? Which is green. Now it checks that if red actually equals to the user input, is the user input actually equal to green? Yes, that's why, and that actually returns a true for us. That's why it actually what gives us what actually execute this line of code for us. And let's try the third one, which is I'm going to run it again, which is for blue, right? So if I actually come here and say blue, now you can see it actually will give me something like what? Blue, which is what? Which is the third condition. Here I have the first condition is false. I don't actually impute red. The second condition runs to what? False, in which I don't actually enter green. Now the third condition gets, yeah, the third line of code gets what? Executed. Why? Because every condition gets what? All condition got what? Returns false. That means errors. What will I have? I will actually run the what? The line of code. Yeah, that means this one is a default what? A default line of code. That is, if these lines of code do not actually give us true, do not return true for me, all I need to do is what? Just print, run this what? Default line of code. So that's what we actually use what? That's the essence of using what? Else and what? And else in what? In our if statement. In our if statement. So we also have and. But before we move to I want you to subscribe into my channel so that whenever I drop a new video on Python on other programming language, you can actually get notified. So thank you. Welcome back. So we also have and in if statements, in conditional statements. How about if I have something like this? Maybe I have A equal to 34 and I have B equal to 67, and I can also have C to be equal to something like 500. I have A equal to 34, I have B equal to 67, and I have C equal to 500. Now, what about if I actually want to write a condition here? I can just write if, if what? If A is what? If A is greater than B. If A is greater than B and what? And C, let me write and C is greater than A. Is greater than A, sorry, is greater than A. And let's look at this condition. He said if A is greater than B, is my A greater than B? Let's look at that condition. If A is greater than B, A is 34, while B is 67. That means this one is not right. So here I'm going to give A something like, let me say 300. Yeah. to make it greater than B. Yeah. So I have if A is greater than B, so this one is right. It will return a true for me, right? Now let's move on. And now this and is just like a keyword that actually combines two conditions together. Now, when you are dealing with and in Python, the condition must be what? Must actually returns a what? A true and a true. That is the first condition here. For example, this condition, which is A greater than B, must return a true for me. Why the left, that is the left hand side condition and the right hand side condition must actually return a true for me before this condition can actually return a true. Are you getting it? So that's what and actually stands for. It's a keyword in Python to actually check the left hand side and the right hand side to actually to check maybe both of them will return are true for me. Now it will return true if both sides are what are right are true. But what about if the left hand side is false and the right hand side is true? No, it will return a false. So both of them have to be what? Have to be true. So here I have C is greater than A. Yeah, I have C is greater than A. So this one is true and this one is true. So let's execute a line of code here. So I'm going to say print let's say print both both size return return a true. Both side return a true. So if I come here and run my code, I'm going to have sorry, let me take off this. Let me take off this one. Thank you. Let me run again. So I'm going to run that again and that would said now that would give me both sides return are true. Are you getting it? So, for example, I can actually make use of this logic. I can make use of this logic whenever I want to check. Okay, is for example, maybe I want to write a project. I want to write a program that actually check maybe maybe we have maybe it's a sunny day or uh, a raining day. Now, if it is actually a sunny day, I want you to, if it is actually a sunny day and should I say a sunny day and uh, let me combine both conditions together, something like a sunny day and let me say humid, should I say something like a sunny day and traffic-less day, you want to travel, right? You may want do maybe you don't want to travel in a rainy day and a traffic jammed day. So your condition is for your condition of traveling is okay. You want to travel in a sunny day and a traffic less day. So you can actually put the left hand side to be what to be sunny day and the right hand side to be what a traffic less day. So now if both of them are right, then you can actually travel. Are you getting it? So that's and that's and what and in if statement in what in Python. So that is now the left hand side and the right hand side must be what must be equal whenever you want to use and statement in what in keyword in what in Python. Are you getting it in Python? Now what about or now, in English language, we use or in combining items, for example, in which the left hand side may not be actually equal to the right hand side. For example, I can have I can have rice or beans. So my preference can actually be a rice, it can actually be a beans. So now I need to just choose one. So either of the condition must be true. Are you getting it? Either of the condition must be true. So here I have if I have something like A is greater than, instead of greater than, let me say A is less than B. And you can see that this condition is actually false, while this condition is true. So here, if I actually leave it like this with and, then I, okay, with and, then I write something like else. Else, are you getting it? Write something like else. Print, print, print both sides. One side is not equal to the other. Okay, both sides are not equal. Let me just put it like that. Both sides are not equal. Getting it? Both sides are not equal. So if I run this, it's going to give me both sides are not equal. Why? Because here this condition is what is false. Why else this is the default what this is the default line of code that is going to execute for me. Now instead of using or and in this place, what do you think I'm going to use? Let me use or. Now or statement actually give me true in as much one of the two statements are what? One of the two statements are true. Now, if I run this, it's going to give me what? Both sides are true. No, though both sides are not actually true. Do you get it? So now you can actually see the difference between and or in Python. Are you getting it? So that's and what? And or in what? In Python. How about not? Not. For example, if I want to write something like if not A and what? If not A and B. Let me take it like this. If not, that will be what? If not A is what? Is greater than B. And let's run this. If not A is greater than B. If I run this line of code, it's going to give me both sides are not equal. Why? Because this line of code is actually giving me false. Please, I don't want you to be confused in this. This line of code is actually giving me false, which will actually execute the default line of code for me. In which, for example, I said if not A and B, A is greater than B. Provincially, A is actually what? Is actually greater than B because A is 300, why B is 67. Now, this condition is right. Are you getting it? This condition is right, but this not is a keyword in Python that actually negates this condition. Though if this condition is false, this not will negate it to become true, in which this line of code is going to be executed. Now, if this line of code, if this condition is true, this not will negate it to become false. So not is just like an inverse in Python that actually shifts, that negates a condition to what? To either to be true or false. So if my condition is true, not will make it false. If my condition is false, not will actually make it what? True. So let me convert this. Let me say this instead of greater than, let me say less than. So if I run this and see, I have what? Both sides are true. So now this condition is actually false, but this not keyword actually make it true for me, which make it what? To run this line of code. So that's conditional statement in what? That's conditional statement in Python. So welcome back, guys. We'll be looking at this exercise to actually learn more about if statement. So as we can see here, we have the exercise actually says ask the user if it is raining and convert their answer to lowercase. So it doesn't matter what case they type it in. So if they answered yes, ask if it is windy. If they answered yes, that is immediately you can see here we are going to use a nested if statement. Yeah. So they said if they answered yes to the second question, display the answer. it is too windy for an umbrella. Otherwise, display the message, take an umbrella. So if they did not answer yes to the first question, display the answer, enjoy your day. Now, that is, if they actually answer no to the first if statement, that is the first condition, which is ask the user if it is what raining, either if it is raining or what, or sunny. So yeah, let's go back to our pie chart and see how we can actually tackle this problem. Here we have, I'm going to clean all this. So now the first thing we are asked to do is to ask the user, maybe it is what, raining. Are you getting it? So here I'm going to ask my user if it is raining or not raining. So I'm going to ask them with an if input. So here I'm going to say raining, 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 raining equals to an input. You getting it? So input. So the question will be, is it raining? Is it raining? I'll give it a question mark, right? Thank you. So I'll give it a question mark to ask the user, maybe it's raining or what, or not raining. Now, don't forget, I said we need to convert what? We need to convert their response to what? To lowercase, either lowercase or what? Or to lowercase, so that whenever if provincially they actually enters their response with a capital letter, we are not going to run into error. So here I'm going to convert my response to what? I'm going to convert the response to what? To lowercase. So I would say something like rainy equals to string dot what? Dot lower. Thank you. Dot lower. Now, what will be, I can just say rainy. Now, this line of code, let me explain this line of code. This line of code is actually telling me that I am actually converting the response from the user to lowercase. So dot lowercase is a string method in Python we use to convert strings to what? To lowercase. So I can actually, not to make this one look confusive, I can just put this one. I can name this response, response, and give this one to a response. Okay, can name this one response. Okay, let me do it like this so that it will just be the same thing. Raining now, raining. This one too, raining. Thank you. Let me leave it like this. So here I will make this one response. That is response from what? Response from the user. Are you getting it? So this one will be a response from the user. So now let's go back to our question. So they said ask the user if it is raining. Now we've done that. Now convert their answer to lowercase, so it doesn't matter what case they type it in. So we have actually successfully done that. Now the next one says, if the next one is, if they answered yes. Now you can see that we are actually having a condition there. If they answered yes, ask if it is windy. Now let's go back to our code. Now we actually want to ask them if it is yes. So we are using an if statement. And don't forget what I actually teach you about if statement. The first thing is what? The if keyword, followed by the um followed by the condition. Now the condition says, if their response, I mean response from the user, if it is yes, it is what? If it is yes. And how can we do that? That will be response equals to what? Yes, equals to yes. Now followed by what? Followed by this column. Now I will press enter, which will actually take me to what? To the next line, in which I'm going to write a code in which that I want to execute. Now let's go back to our question. It says, if the answer is yes, ask if it is windy. Now we want to ask our user if it is windy, right? So I'm going to name that windy. Windy equal to what? impute, right? Impute, impute. Is it, is it windy? Right? That's a question mark would follow that. Yeah, I love to end it with this. Now, is it windy? Yeah, we have successfully what done that. So if it is yes, if they answered yes, ask if it is windy. We've asked that. Now the next one says if they answered yes to this second question, right? So if they answered yes to this second question, now the next what I want you to do, I want you to keep in mind that the user can actually enter yes with either capital letter or what or small letter here. So let's try to what to convert this what this windy to what to is to small letter so that we are going to have either we are going to always have small letter with our response. So I'm going to say windy equals to what that will be string str dot lot dot lower. This lower, as I've earlier said, is a string method dot lower. Then what am I converting? I'm converting windy. Thank you to lowercase. Thank you. Now here, if it is windy, let's continue with the question. The question says if they answered yes. Now, if they actually answered yes to this second question, now we actually need an if statement there. So I'm going to say if what? If windy, right? If windy is equals to what? To yes, right? Now that's my condition. If windy is equals to yes, now take it to the next line. If windy is equals to yes, then I want to print. I want to do what? I want to tell them that come. Now let's follow the question so that I will not be the one doing it. So if they answer yes to the second question, display the answer. It is too windy for an umbrella. That is, we are to what? We are to say it is too windy for what? For an umbrella. So we are going to tell the user, come. It is too windy for what? Umbrella. So that wind will not take what? Will not take your umbrella away. So we are going to say it is too windy for an umbrella what? Umbrella. Am I right? Okay, let's just leave it like that. So for an umbrella. Now we've successfully what? Done that. So let's take it again. So it says if they answered yes to the second question, display the answer. It is too windy for an umbrella, right? That one done. So now the answer said otherwise display the message. Take what? Take an umbrella. Now that is otherwise take what? Display a message that we actually says take an umbrella. Now what do you think we are going to use that for that? That is, if provincially this condition is true, run this line of code, execute this line of code. But if provincially this line of code is what is false, we want it to run to execute another line of code. Here we are not having two conditions, more than two conditions. We only have two conditions. So if it is windy or if it is not windy. So if it is windy, execute that line of code. If it is not windy, don't execute the code. Now we would have used elif, but here we don't have we only have two conditions. But if we have three conditions, we are going to make use of elif. So we are not using elif here. We are only going to use else. That is, if this one is not right, else render the what? Render this what? The default what? The default message, which is what? Print print what? Let's go back to check. French words, the message to display is what? Take an umbrella. So here I'm going to write words. I'm going to say take an umbrella. Take an umbrella. So here, if the condition is true, it will give us this. But if the condition is false, it will what? It will give us the other way around. It will give us the default message. Now, Let's continue. He said, if they did not answer yes to the first question, display the answer, enjoy your day. That is, if they actually give us, if the response here is no, and no for what? No for, is it windy? Right? So if the response for if is it windy, is it raining? Sorry, is no. That is, if it is not raining, we would just want to say enjoy your day. Now we are going to leave. This line of code is actually what under. I mean, working. I used to say working. That is execute being executed immediately, in as much, let me say, in as much this what this response, this condition is true. But what about if this condition is false? That is, this line of code is not going to be executed. What will be executed will be the else statement. So here we are going to leave this environment. So we are going to go to the first what? First line. Now you can see that we are moving to what? To this level, to this root level, which in which we are going to display the what? The message, enjoy your day. So I'm going to say else. So now this else is actually working for this if statement. Is for this if statement. Are you getting it? Now that's why we are putting it in the same level. So I'm going to say else what I want you to print, enjoy, enjoy, enjoy your day, enjoy your day. So now I guess let's take the question again. Let's take the question. He said, ask the user if it is raining and convert the answer to lowercase. We've done that. So if it does, if so it doesn't matter that the okay, we said, let's say we should convert the response to lowercase. So if it does, so it doesn't matter what case they type in. Okay. So if the answer yes, ask it is windy. So if the first one is right, ask if it is windy. If the answer is yes to the second question, display the answer it is too windy for an umbrella. Otherwise, otherwise means then it means else. Displays the message, take an umbrella. Now, if they did not answer yes to the first question, that is the first if condition, display the answer, enjoy your day. So let's run our code. Wow. Let's run it and let's see what it will give us. So I'm going to run this and it's going to ask me, is it raining? So I'm going to say yes. Yes. Is it windy? I'm going to say yes. Yes, it is windy. You see, it says it is too windy for an umbrella. Now, should I let me run it again so to actually test the other condition? So here I'm going to say yes, it's raining. But is it windy? No. Is it? Let me run it again. It seems to have write something there. So here I'm going to say yes, it's raining. Is it windy? No, it's not windy. You can see he said I should take an umbrella. That is, it's raining and there's no wind. I have to take an umbrella because it's not actually what? It's not actually windy. And let me run it again now. Here I've text for this condition. Yes, for what? For raining, and yes for what? For windy. Now let me run this again by actually what? Responding to it with what? No, there's no what? There's no rain. So here I'm going to say no. I'm even going to say with capital letter. So to test what? To test our what? To test how we actually what? Convert the lowercase to what? To actually convert all our response to lowercase. So I'm going to say no in capital letter. So if I say no, you can see it will actually the program will actually says enjoy your day. So that's it. You can see it's actually simple. So thank you guys for today's class, and I wish to see you in next class. Thank you. Bye.